Right, a Ducati 959. This is a 2017. It is used. This is Ducati's middleweight in the lineup back then, at least. They had the 899, 959, and the leader bikes 1199, 1299s. These are all twins in this generation, so that's why you'll hear 1199, 1299. It'll sound just so much faster than, you know, some other CBR 1000 or something. In reality, that's not exactly true. You know, with the twins, you kind of got to really consider that they're two-cylinder before you start comparing speed and stuff, because I mean, a good way to put it is the least amount of cylinders you have, you get a little bit less weight for the same displacement, more torque, less power for the same displacement. So that makes it a very good track bike, maybe less of a drag bike, you could say. But it definitely absolutely smokes the Gixxer 750s down low. Does have the up quick shifter, does not have the down, I believe. Whoa, man, that was a brutal U-turn. Come on, lady, all over the phone. So this is the generation where Volkswagen had taken over, and it does greatly affect the maintenance intervals in a positive way. They increased the valve service intervals from, I think, 7,500 to 15,000 miles, which, if you know anything about Desmo services already, you know that they're so expensive that it is music to a Ducati's owner's ears to hear that they get double the amount of mileage that they used to get out of the same valve service. This is Ducati red, so it is a very loud looking bike. Can't lie, I feel pretty good when I look in the reflection over there. I see this Ducati underneath me. It's definitely a very good looking bike. You just can't not recognize Ducati, especially in this red. So I feel like it does kind of give you that feeling for sure. As far as clutch pulls, Ducatis are kind of hard to learn because of their hydraulic clutches. It can be very different for a lot of folks. Also, hydraulic clutches tend to change almost the feel, you know, as you're getting as it's getting hotter. So over time, basically over the course of the same ride, basically your clutch pull can change, which is weird, but it is simply, I think, a more superior technology, but just not always practical for the street. So this bike has good traction control and ABS, you know, which is why I'm pretty trusting of the tires. Of course, proper throttle response trumps all. So if I had to give a 959 a weakness when it comes to performance, I will say it's right in the middle of the power band is where it has a really big flat spot. You know, it kind of has that torquiness from the twin down low, and then something just wakes up in the you know, after about 8,000–9,000 RPM, it wakes up all over again. So this bike is a lot of fun in that way. Does not have a down quick shifter. You have to rev match the old-fashioned way. Not mad at it. As far as handling goes, these guys are a good amount heavier than the 899s. I will say it feels slightly heavier than my Gixxer 750 still, but I know it is technically lighter. Just absolute brutal acceleration, and it's such an exotic sound too when it really gets into that later part of the power band. You know, it has a really nice dun, dun, just that tone. It sounds so exotic. It sounds Ducati, you know, and I don't know how to describe it exactly, but it's very specific. So as far as heat goes, You can imagine this is an L-twin. The top bank is sitting somewhere around here, an area famous for not wanting heat. So that is definitely something to think about on these Ducatis. There's a nice little gravel spot right here we're gonna avoid. Nice. Yeah, this bike is very fast. It's quick. It's quick. Obviously, I'm not going to experience any absolute crazy speed numbers on this bike on this test ride, but I can definitely tell from the parts that you can really have fun up to before you really start worrying about cops and tickets. It is absolutely excellent, and so that gives you some reference. In the canyons, some of the fastest riders I know, street riders, ride these bikes, the 959s, even 899s. The 899s with tunes and stuff, they make pretty comparable horsepower to something like this. And definitely anything in the 750 range, you know, the 899 with a proper tune, you could really wake that thing up. But same thing with this bike. Like I said, that mid-range is the biggest weakness, so if you get a good tuner that knows what to do with that mid-range, you know, it could really change. Oh boy, first free lane all day. All right, let's try the brakes. Not yet, not yet. All right, now, there it is, easy. Not super used to this throttle yet, but it is kind of predictable. It doesn't have a ton of forgiveness, to be honest, because of all the torque. But if I was in a different power mode, maybe. Yeah, you know, it's not a super forgiving throttle. This is obviously not a beginner bike. Far from a beginner bike. Even the 899, I can't imagine would be too much more forgiving than this, even though it makes less power, less torque. Just the way that this throttle turns. This bike is a lot of fun. Final impressions, it is great at what its intents and purposes are. It is very bad at everything it's not designed for. Things like long range commuting, comfort. This is the wrong Ducati. They do make nice Ducatis that can be comfortable, that can be fun. I'm thinking of our 2022 Super Sport S, for example. You know, bikes like that, they exist and they do very well. So final impressions, it's a great middleweight bike. It'll embarrass some 1000s with the right rider on there. I love it. Come check it out.